One of the most valuable tools that's been added to the race stream kit in the last year is this dashboard application here. It wasn't made by me, it was made by Robo from New Zealand. Thanks, Robert, for making this thing. It's been inherently valuable. As well as Bob9, Glenn from Brisbane, he's made a few enhancements to the code base that I know of. So what it does is effectively just shows a bunch of the trackside data that eliminates most, like 90% of all the questions I would ever get asked on a race day, such as, Timmy, what's my channel? When am I up next? And what were my laps? I don't need to answer those questions anymore. I just point at that screen here they look at. It's mirrored on this. Come take a quick look in and see what it's doing. When a race is starting, it shows the countdown. It shows on the right here the entire leaderboard, and it shows here when you're racing, if you're in the next heat, the current race now, the next heat as well. It is amazing. If you are running FPVTrackside and you have an event of any moderate size, 10 or more people, you should have this. You should be running this. You can run it on Windows, you can run it on a Raspberry Pi, or pretty much anything. This video will show you how to set one up and get it running into your kit, because I think everyone needs this knowledge and needs to have one of these in their setup. Let's jump inside and I'll quickly show you. Okay, so now we're inside and we've got the race computer ready with FPVTrackside installed, ideally the latest version. The first thing we're going to need to do to enable any of the basic components of this is to click the hamburger button and go down to application settings. And we need to enable the local web server. So I've already ticked that and done a restart. When you do tick it, it does ask to restart the app. So do that. Give it a few seconds. And the way you know this has worked is that with Trackside already opened back up, you can browse to localhost 8080 and you should see a local browser of the FPVTrackside application. And when you click into rounds, it should show the rounds that you've already got generated there if you have them, which we do. So that's great. The next thing we're going to need to do is to download the dashboard application from the GitHub page. So I've already got it open here, and I'll put this URL in the video description so you can easily grab it, but it's on GitHub and it's by a repository under the account Whale Freezer, which is Robo from New Zealand. So thanks again for making this. It's been wonderful. This is already in use quite a lot in New Zealand, and some clubs in Australia are also definitely using this every race day. The README is down below. We're really interested in just one line here, which is this is what we're going to run to run it when we get it. And what you want to do is just go to the releases page on the right. And the latest version, October 18th, 2.4.0, is the one that you want, which was used at the 2025 Australian Drone Nationals. The top one is the one I'll be using for a Windows-based operating system, but there is 2 Linux ones and 2 Mac ones. I have used the Linux one in the past on a Raspberry Pi, but I've pivoted to this because I have spare laptops. Why not? So download that, throw it in a folder. I've already grabbed it and put it in a folder called dashboard. So what you want to do now is from the README, we'll just grab that command. Maybe I've gone too far. There we go. I don't need the ./. Just this part will be nice. And from the folder, she's better. Right click to paste it and hit enter. And that should all work. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see that's the URL for the dashboard. Also running on localhost, but port 3000. There is a DB admin panel that you can go into, and if you need the username and password up there, the password is randomly generated each time you launch it, but I've not really had a need to go into that. And as well, the FPVTrackside 8080 website that it's using to grab all the data from to present it as such. So if you did all that right, then it should just be a case of now browsing to localhost 3000. And you should see all the pilots and the rounds that you've already made straight away.
that's basically it. Once we now start a race, for example, we'll run this one. We'll just quieten the text to speech. But what you want to see is when it has started, the clock should be linked. It may be slightly delayed. No, this one's pretty close. I think with big events, you might find that it might lag a little bit, but as the laps are recorded, you should see them up here immediately. And if you do have a mouse as someone who is using it, you can click into each of the parts, and there's all the historic lap data there and some basic stats and stuff, which would be pretty handy. For the most part, you're just going to show this screen, and what I typically do is just press F11 to make it full screen, and I'll put it on a screen that's facing outwards towards the pits, so the pilot seating area, and they just look at it as they please, and they can just see that they're coming up next. And on the right hand side, you can see if you're racing and who is in the next heat there, which is flagged by staging. The qualifying method should match what you have in the event. So if I go back to the Trackside app, we can say we've got best lap there, but if I made that set laps to 4, we would hope that on the next refresh, there we go, top 4 consec. So that should match whatever you have set in the Trackside settings for your qualifying method. And that's kind of all there is to it for getting it running on a single computer. All right, so what if you actually want to put this dashboard somewhere else in your pits? Maybe you've got no spare screens to plug into your race computer. Maybe you just want to run it somewhere else, or have it, running on another computer effectively. So we can do that as well. And what we need to do first is refer to the FPVTrackside manual, because there's a little command we need to run on the race computer first. So if we go to the documentation on the FPVTrackside repository as well, what you want to look for is the component for local web server. And this command here is what you need to run on the Trackside computer first. If I jump across to the stream, to the other dashboard computer, and we try to access the local web server, you get this invalid host name there. So what we'll do is jump back to the race computer, and we'll grab this command as is, the whole thing. Copy that, and in a command prompt, just kill the dashboard here. In a command prompt running as administrator, we just paste that in as well. I didn't copy that very well. Let's try that again. So hit enter there. It says successfully added. We're golden. We do need to close Trackside and reopen it. So I'll just do that quickly. Okay, bring up the same event again. Then if I switch back to the dashboard computer and do a refresh of this page, now it loads. Perfect. And if we go into rounds, we can see the first one's run, and we're up to the second qualifying round now. So now that we know that that's working, we want to grab the same dashboard executable again, put it in a folder just like the other one, and we need to make a slight tweak on what we do to launch it. So I've already prepared a little batch file, because it's easy if you save it as a batch file, you can just run it in the future. But really the only difference is that the FPVTrackside switch will point to the other computer. So if it's running on a standalone machine, that'll say localhost. In this case, it's going to have the name or the IP address of your Trackside computer. So if you need to get that, you can run ipconfig or look at your network settings to get the IP, or if you know it by name and that you can ping it and access it by name, use that, because it's a little bit more dynamic. So with the exe downloaded, all I'm going to do is paste in the same sort of command, hit enter. The same sort of thing comes up, and now we should have the same dashboard just like this. But now we're not running on the Trackside computer, we are running this on a second computer. So I'll start this race, and I'll leave the beep to play on the audio. So I'm hoping to see the start to update soon. I've heard the timer. There we go. So there's a few seconds for it to just to load and catch up there, but it's away. And looking at the two computers, 163, 160. The countdown time is pretty much smack bang on correct. So this could be a computer that just has to be plugged into the same network as the Trackside computer, but it could be physically at the other end of the pits, anywhere you want. And that is the optimal setup. So I'll normally run a second computer that is just the dashboard. It'll normally sit pretty close to me, but there's no reason why I couldn't put it at the other end of the pits if that was where it had to go. But then I just sort of press F11 and I just let it be. And I don't even give anyone a mouse or anything. They can just see this. This automatically scrolls, but really they just want to see, typically parts want to see what their current lap times were in the current race. They might want to see when they're up next from the scrolling side, and that's kind of most of the questions I'll ever want to have answers from the race director for. Brilliant. Now, there is one other thing that you can do, like beyond this. It's not really possible outside of the Australian clubs unless you're pretty savvy with the computers and you can do this, but we have a method with the new AUFBV website that Canberra's a part of where we can actually have this on an online on our club website, which means that you don't have to be physically there to see the dashboard. You could just use your phone or use a computer and browse to the club website and see the live dashboard at the same time. Now, there's a bit of setup to it. For the Australian clubs that are a part of this, they have a cloud login here when they get to it. This is what it looks like for me, and Bob9 has put all this together, so this is his work to make this really easy, and this is the straightforward way to do it. It gives you a whole, you choose what OS you're running this on, and he gives you the commands that you can just copy paste out of there. I did find that I had to get rid of these little hat characters there, the Shift 6 one. It didn't work for me, but effectively I just copied that. I put that into another batch file. There it is with cloud. So what I'll show you now is this is not currently running. It's from another event from an earlier testing. But if I run the launch, type that wrong, with cloud, away you go. We can now see the online website, cmrc.asn.au/dashboard, is now going to have the real-time live results from the dashboard that we see in the pits, also on the internet for anyone to check in and look at that. Maybe someone's watching at home on the stream and they want to have that on a second monitor, or maybe a pilot just wants to be able to click into his lap stats and get that detailed breakdown. So this could obviously be expanded for other clubs as well, but at the moment this is part of the Australian club community there that this online service is being offered, which is excellent, but this is just to show you what the possibilities are. I think even having the dashboard on the screen is the most useful addition you can have to the race setup, outside of the essentials of timing and the ground station, of course. But this is what's possible, and I think this is so good. So yeah, in conclusion, the dashboard is great for looking at all your lap data, your breakdowns, your performance, comparing yourself to others. Having it on the club website has been very useful for those who want to drill into the data, but just having the screen in the pit somewhere has been where most of the key core value has come from during any given race day. Whether it be whoops, pro spec, outdoor, everyone wants to see this data and they all want to analyze it. So I hope this covers all the bits that you need to install it. Hopefully I've not missed any details and it all just works for you as easily as it has here. Of course, any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. Until then, goodbye.